My name is Per. I'm a co-founder and designer at People. We're a Stockholm design studio right in the middle of Stockholm. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our view on prototyping and how I use that in my daily work and stuff about prototyping basically. For those who doesn't know anything about us, we do a lot of emerging tech design basically. We help startups as well as bigger companies to design the right product for their customers basically. We have a satellite office as a trial in Shenzhen actually as well, speaking of which. That is set up in order to better cater to the development, the fast development over there, and help startups to reach manufacturing quicker and so on. But that's not what I'm going to talk about today. So this is some of the Swedish startups that we've helped so far. Maybe you guys know Flick. They used to sit here. Now they're in another house nearby over there. Really cool product. This is a small Bluetooth button that can do basically anything you want. And this, maybe some of you know, it's a small wearable camera called Narrative, which is a quite famous Swedish startup. It's a live logging camera. It takes 2 pictures every minute. So right now you're all on a few from this one. And this is another startup that's launching soon, and it's a digital pin, and I'll get to that a little bit more in just a while. But I'm going to talk specifically a little bit about the Narrative clip prototyping process, because I was the industrial designer in that project, and I'm going to dive a little bit behind the scenes to show you a little bit along the way how prototyping was really essential in order to make this product happen in the best way. This here is a view of the very first prototype that we made, which is basically strapping on one of these, the only sort of existing live logging solution that was out there prior to the Narrative. This is a sort of helping tool for people with Alzheimer's to help remember better. So it's a big chunky thing that we got, and I strapped it to my shirt and I walked around for a bit. And it's basically to test the user experience and to understand what the product's going to be like. And this stage shows in a way that prototyping is so important in different ways and in different stages. So at first, try to understand what the product does and just test the functionality and see if it sort of flies. And these are pictures from that particular study from my normal workday. And then we went on to concept generation and tried out a lot of different design directions based on sort of the functionality studies and everything. And I actually brought some real samples that you can come to me after this talk, and I'll show you some of these things IRL. Let's see. Okay. So, yeah.
Just let everybody know that the live streaming is working downstairs. So if you feel like it's tough to stand or
Sorry.
too hot, you can go upstairs.
What was that?
Could you just tell everybody that live streaming is working downstairs now?
Okay, live streaming is apparently working downstairs.
Woo!
A message from Sune.
Yeah!
Hell yeah. Good one. Let me see if this works. I'm gonna try and do a little thing another magic trick that Sune taught me. This is basically the first stage of rough prototyping right here. And we have a very simple printer in our office that just prints plastic, basically, a 3D printer. the most basic version of it. And we do a lot of these different type of prints during a process, just to see form factors, see form development, size, and like try to, you know, understand basically what the design is about, what the product is. And let's see how I switch back to this. And then as soon as possible, we try to go into a stage of, you know, combining digital prototyping in terms of renderings together with physical real-life prototyping. And in this particular case, this is another early example. We did a lot of user evaluations of which form factor worked best in combination with some physical representations of those. And this is like really just form, basically. So it's nothing inside of the prototypes at this stage. And then you go into the next stage of prototyping, where you actually decide on the industrial design, and you have developed the functionality in the electronics to a point where you can actually start printing more high resolution prototypes. So the one you see right here is an SLA print, which is a really good technology in order to get high resolution prints, and they can have different properties to them. Like some of them can be a bit brittle and stuff like that, but then there are currently some really good versions of these prints that really resembles ABS plastic. So it's a really useful tool for us to try out the construction of a design, and you can get to a very fine detail. You can get like the same properties as if you would injection mold the actual part. So this is very useful for putting the electronics inside and basically evaluating if the construction is good for assembly and so on. Right. And yeah, and I have a lot of different versions of these narrative prototypes up here that you can, yeah, just come to me and ask later, and I'll try to explain what the different types of prints are useful for in different stages of this development. And I'm really quickly gonna go into talking a little bit about prototyping physically and digitally together in the process, because these days most products has a digital interface of some sort, and it's really useful to be able to, in the same way as we make a physical prototype, and it's getting ever more accessible for us to make like a prototype that looks just like the final thing. And obviously we in this design process we develop the digital interface and prototype it as if it also was the final thing. And in this particular project, which is this digital pin, which is launching soon, is actually a very current project, because Olof, the entrepreneur behind this project, is gonna send in the Kickstarter campaign tonight. So it's really interesting. I really think this is going to be a big thing on Kickstarter, and if it goes well, it's going to launch 1st of March. So keep a lookout. But it's really useful to actually to get to try out the app functionality and to really test all the user flows as if it was a real application. And this is a really good example where the industrial design and the app design has come to the same level of maturity. So this product is basically ready for Kickstarter or any type of investment or going to a manufacturing stage. Sorry, I'm a bit out of breath. And obviously, being able to render products as if they were already real is a tool that we use all the time. So this is an example of a pair of headphones that we just make digitally and put in a real environment, and can really evaluate a design before it actually exists. So these are tools that let us try out the design in advance, basically. And I see that I'm out of time.
We set it low. We got a few minutes.
Cool. I'm just going to skip through a little bit and show you a little bit, the behind the scenes of this kind of tools for actually trying out the digital app in advance. And this is a tool developed by our partner company Top, which is it's called Noodle, and it's a prototype tool for digital and physical IoT experiences, which is a really simple node-based interface, and you can connect sort of physical IoT stuff with an interface and a programming interface. So it's a fast way for us to work with the physical and digital experience in parallel like that. So, in the same way, they made this Samsung Gear S2, I believe, interface. We didn't actually design this watch, but it's a quite big, well-known wearable by now, I think, and it's kind of cool to just see behind the scenes how they work with actually evaluating the interface together with a smartphone and a watch interface that they program. So yeah, that's all I have. I think I can just a final word is to really encourage you, no matter what, if you're a designer or an entrepreneur or a developer, that you should prototype really often and do it, no matter if you don't have the skills or the tools, just make it by paper. We do that in our studio all the time still. Prototype 10 times more than you think, basically, and at all stages of the process. Thank you.